So the practice, we're learning to appreciate existence. What's there to appreciate? We can think of an individual life as a learning opportunity. Consciousness, oneness, manifests upon herself, himself, these individual like experiences. And we're like a harvest almost. We go through these life experiences, learning, accumulating karma, spending karma, cleansing karma. And we're bringing back into awareness the yield of what our life is revealing. You're a first time. You're a very first time. Now, you may have some patterns of similarity to your ancestors and to your cultural upbringing, but you're a very first time as a body mind. And so they say it's Ishwara, or the watcher, the one watcher, is quite invested in your experience. Just like you're invested in your experience, you're invested in your circumstances. We want things to go well. And the one watcher, they're invested differently than the way that you're invested. You've got preferences for how this should go. Avoiding pain, increasing pleasures. That's my motto. That's your motto. That's every little individual person's motto. Avoid pain, increase pleasures. But the one watcher doesn't see things that way. Isn't necessarily interested in you having those things. Avoidance of pain and increasing of pleasures. But the one watcher is still deeply invested in what's going on with you. Now, hopefully what's kicking in is you're going to, hey, wait a minute, Rich, haven't you been saying that it's all one thing? And what are you talking about? There's a one watcher and then there's a me. Exactly. We are waking up to our existence as the one watcher. Deeply invested in this life story, but also deeply invested in any life story, any circumstance. And so when we practice, we have to create a little bit of dispassion for the way that we've been appreciating our life. The way that we've been appreciating our life, how to avoid pains and increase pleasures. And as we create some dispassion for the way that we've been appreciating our life, then in the wake of that arises a new appreciation that is not attached to the results of actions. Right? Because in order to avoid pains and increase pleasures, we get caught up in the results of actions. I hope this goes this way. I hope this goes that way. I think if I do this, I can get that to happen. If I think if I sit weakly, I'll get enlightened. This is still thinking as an individual. You're invested in your life, don't get me wrong, but you're still thinking as an individual. Thinking as the one watcher is different. There's no thinking. There's just a deeply held appreciation for what is. I'm good with this. I'm good with that. I'm good with what will come. Then the little monkey hops and says, but wait a minute, I would really like to avoid those pains and increase those pleasures. And you hear yourself talking again, squabbling with someone who will never squabble back with you. The non-dual work, it does not argue. It states its case, and that's that. Because it's not interested in avoiding pains and increasing pleasures. It's simply fine with how things are. It's fine with your squabbling. It's fine with your distress. And the non-dual invitation is to recognize you are not separate. You are not separate from that reality. Try to feel, try to witness your own awareness. Try to understand, acknowledge. You are watching this life. And this watcher is independent of the life. But the life depends on the watcher. Take away the watcher, the life will certainly go with it. Take away the life, the watcher remains. Let's see if it's true. This is what we endeavor when we practice. To verify what the masters have told us. That if we forget this life, if we let it disappear for a little while, in fact, what we actually are will still be here, ever shining and full. That the one watcher, that's what's worth settling into. Your life, that's just a joyride, temporary, fleeting. You borrowed a vehicle. Endeavor to understand. Be willing to forget the life story. Just see if you're into that. See if you're open to that. To see, to become a seer. A seer of truth. Beyond the life story. An independent, endless light of consciousness. We certainly know that it's here during the life story. You feel the body. You hear words in the thoughts. You hear words with your ears. And you're aware of this. So the awareness is present during the life story. Let's just get acclimated with that before we endeavor to forget the life story. On your exhales, or as you see fit, you'll say into your mind, yep, awareness is present. Building cognition, awareness is present. So if you link it to your breath, inhale, and as you exhale, awareness is present. Cognizing, oh, awareness is here as I witness my breath. And as you find yourself in a thought story, say to yourself, upon recognition, awareness is here, awareness is present. And so then, too, even during thoughts that pull you away, distract you, still awareness is present. Maybe another thought comes up, or a body sensation, back pain, knee pain, whatever. Same thing. Awareness is present. In order for me to have this thought, in order for me to have this knee pain, it must exist in my awareness. Awareness is present. In order for me to inhale and exhale, awareness is present. Continue to use this line as needed. Drive the message home. Awareness is present during the life story. Make it brutally obvious. Awareness is present. Every time you look for it, it's there. Even if you can think of a time when you were unaware, the idea of a time when you were unaware is still existing in your mind now, inside awareness. Keep feeling into the reality of the circumstance. Awareness is present. What is this awareness? Don't worry. Just acknowledge it's here. Understand. Experience it. This is what makes it practice. This is what makes you more than an armchair philosopher. Experience it. Make it clear in your understanding. You don't have to be certain that it's always there. You don't have to be certain that it will be here when your life goes away. You just have to be certain it's here now, and you can't get it to go away. By definition of what it is, awareness is present. Aware that awareness is present, you can begin to collect yourself. Collect yourself from the false knowing of being a little person who avoids pains and tries to increase pleasures. You can turn away from this now because now you have something to turn toward. This one watcher, this awareness that is simply aware, regardless of circumstance. Awareness is simply aware, regardless of circumstance. It is a very powerful thing indeed. How frail and feeble the mind and body are in comparison to what awareness can endure. So you can start to turn your awareness away from aspects of the life story. Why? Not because you're trying to get it to go away, but you're trying to see if what the masters told you was true. Is awareness here, independent of my life and its story? We already know. If I was not aware, there would be no life. But if there was no life, would there still be awareness? It's not that hard. Think about your fingertip. You had totally forgotten you had a fingertip until I reminded you. Completely forgetting about fingertip, you were still aware. Now you have fingertip again in awareness. And soon you'll forget about it. There's a lamp in your room probably. Until I told you about it, you had forgotten it was there. Yet awareness still existed. Just like you're capable of forgetting about the lamp, forgetting about a fingertip. Forget other aspects. Forget about your breathing. We know that we breathe. We're not always conscious of our breathing. Forget about the body. Even forget your thoughts. Give the masters a chance to prove their truth to you. Awareness is free, independent of the body mind. come to know what they know. Turn the attentiveness to awareness. Point all of yourself back at awareness. This is dispassion. This is vairagya, the masters talk about. Become wholly interested in the watcher, willing to forget. The life story for a little while. Discover something more real. find yourself swimming in another thought, swimming in another story about your life, realize something was not disturbed, something was unchanged, something was unaltered. As you went from awareness to thought, to awareness of thought, to here now, discover what was unaltered. And let the other things fade away. Maybe just a hint of life, a hint of existence, a hint of an awareness of something, a feeling, of being. But even too, this can become quiet. Everything can become quiet. You are what remains in the quiet. You are what remains when everything that can fade away fades away. You don't have to force this. You need not avoid or increase. Simply exist as awareness. Even the ideas and notions around the word awareness fade away. Just self shining existence, free of any attributes. Come to know what the Master's promise. Rest your body. Digest your experience. Stay in the practice by signing off from the call. Otherwise, I will pause the recording and we'll do questions.